morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Perrin Lovett here for another Prepper Post News, courtesy of Freedom Prepper. And today is Friday, March 12th, 2021. Hello to everybody at YouTube, everybody listening to the podcast, and everybody who's catching this at Freedom Prepper or the community. Welcome, welcome. Got a couple of things. If you got a picture of the new incendiary roast coffee, extra hot and spicy. I've not tried that yet. That may be an acquired taste, but it's now a thing. So if you like heat, think about ordering some of that. I'm sure at some point I will try it. Also, something new we're going to try on, I think, Monday. I'm going to shift our featured topic to the end. Sometimes I do that anyway, but I try to, the stories are not always related, all 10 or 12 or however many there are, but I do like to have kind of a flow, so I do arrange them in a certain way. I'm going to have most of the stories, the smaller stories, up front, and then we'll get to the featured topic at the end. And in between, much like I do the open, I'll say something like, please remember to like the video on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And more importantly than that, come on, bookmark freedomprepper.com, and then come on over if you're really serious about intelligent social media for preppers and decent people. Do consider joining the community, freedompreppercommunity.com. Very important. Much like the surge on Wall Street this week, a new record. The Dow is just it's going to hit 100,000 before Joe Biden's handlers have their first 100 days. But that's we know that is completely disconnected from reality and from the real economy, and it's not even really worth talking about anymore because we have so many more important things going on. And I was going to pull this up. Let me go ahead and grab this. I hope the audio works in here. America keeps changing, and we have President Biden's handlers. Whoever is actually running the country keeps, and why does the technology, I don't like technology at all. But anyway, there's poor Joe. He made a speech, I guess this was for International Women's Day on Monday, and listen to listen to this little clip. I hope this comes through. If not, I'll just tell you about it.
It's an intensity of purpose and mission to really change the culture and habits that cause women to leave the military. Some of it's relatively straightforward work, where we're making good progress, designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits.
Creating maternity flight suits. That's why the overall title I went today was the Barbie Military Playset. It's not just G.I. Joe anymore. Ladies, welcome to the military. If you are expecting, what will, and he also went on to say that they're going to redesign helmets to accommodate women's hairstyles. Maternity flight suit. Okay, if you put, without a dire emergency, if you put women, first of all, if you have a large standing military, period, you have it for a reason. The kind that we have is not geared towards protecting our nation, which, has been completely overrun. And in fact, it's been demonstrated that it cannot protect this nation. But it's very good at attacking other nations, not so much to achieve victory over them as it is just to burn up money for the banks and the arms dealers and the usual suspects. But if you're a military without a dire emergency, has to rely on putting women, women, children, the elderly, there's a reason why that has been forbidden and frowned upon pretty much in every culture throughout history. That means you're either completely out of anybody else and the fight is desperate. None of our fights are desperate or needed. But if you put pregnant women without an extreme emergency, if it's they fight or they're the last one standing, it's they either fight or die. That's different. But if you're putting them out there in flight suits, body armor, helmets to accommodate their hairstyles while they're pregnant, that's a surefire sign that your country is dead. DEAD, dead. And it just does not speak well for military readiness or anything else. You must wonder what the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, and everybody else think about things like this. Whatever it is, I'm confident that it is not fear that they feel. Anyway, I've got a link to that. That was a video off of Twitter from the White House this week, what's left of it. And in the White House, they are celebrating 50 days into the presidency of whoever's running the country while abusing Joe Biden and putting him up as a hostage puppet. 50 days and $2 trillion. And we did the calculations earlier this week. About $450 billion of that could conceivably go to some of the American people, even though it's still a zero-sum game. Where's the other three quarters going? We know. But the Hill is calling this a great win for the Biden handlers administration. So congratulations, guys. I can't wait to see what you do by 100 days or 101. Never give up that extra day. Now let's see here. Back to the war angle. Last year, Donald Trump negotiated a peaceful face-saving end to America's longest war in Afghanistan by negotiating with the quote-unquote terrorist of the Taliban. It's their country, and that's why they're fighting for it. And we have never belonged over there. The Soviets didn't belong there. The British, nobody who has ever invaded the graveyard of empires belongs there because it's up to them. But we did reach an agreement, that, a ceasefire. Give us a year to pull out. Don't attack us. We won't attack you. It's been working. There's a lot of speculation about whether Joe Biden's handlers are going to honor that. Given everything that's going on, I would suggest highly that if you want to make it to 100 days, maybe you should, because this could go, instead of being a 20-year war, this might be, what John McCain wanted, a century-long war. Not that one side has that long to fight. Meanwhile, some other alphabet agencies in the federal government are just planning all kind of new ways to help. You never get enough of this great stuff. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, is helping with the very important medical pandemic that's been afflicting us. They're setting up vaccination centers, and they have 5 different kinds. I think a level 5 is like the little mobile tent that you might see. If you see a little tent out in a parking lot somewhere with cars full of dull-witted people or suicidal people pulling up to it, that might be a level 5 FEMA extermination camp, processing vaccination center camp. The first type 1, is a 6,000 jab bed cell facility. Some people are naturally wondering, are these concentration camps for the bad people in the USSA? I don't think so at all. I trust FEMA greatly. I even link at Freedom Prepper. I link to the FEMA website where it explains the great excitement of the 5 types of concentration camps that they may even have showers at some of these. That reminds me of a little story time. I lived in Atlanta in the last century, and a tornado came through and did a lot of damage to the Dunwoody neighborhood. I had a friend that lived there. He had just bought a house at the end of a cul-de-sac, and most of the houses survived on his street, but the trees were just down everywhere. It was a total landscaping disaster. So he went and got a chainsaw and started cutting up the trees and cleaning up his own yard. But then FEMA came down, and they went to everybody and they got everybody signed up so that they could help, except for my friend who, told him that he didn't like the government and wanted them off his property. So they marked his house to leave alone, and he kept cutting and cleaning up, and it started looking good while everybody else waited. Well, FEMA came in a few days or weeks later with heavy equipment, and they basically just drove a bulldozer up and down the street and demolished everything. So the only person that had any kind of vegetation or a standing mailbox on his property was my friend, who did not accept the help. And remember, FEMA help after Katrina frequently involved, moldy, toxic mold-filled camping trailers. So I can't wait to see what they will do with the jab. But they're not alone. Rather than helping, the Department of Homeland Security and the former Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, which is now the Invasion Welcome Committee agency, they're too busy to help us. They are requesting our help. I've got a story here from the aptly titled Epoch Times. Yeah, it's Epoch, whatever. They need your help, and you can volunteer to assist the millions of incoming foreign invaders. All of them fighting age males. All these fighting age males are women and children fleeing war and oppression, are bringing it to us. Those of us who survived the jabs, get down there, and it doesn't even have to be a border town. They'll fly them into inland airports. So we need to help out, the same way that the FBI, just going down the alphabet here, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is really helping hunt down all of the non-existent white supremacist terrorists, domestic terrorists, who basically burned down Washington, D.C. You may remember back on 1/6, a day that will live in hilarity forever. There was a glowy or some other kind of government, agent provocateur who was videoed going around leaving fake pipe bombs. And they're looking for him, and they, for some reason, cannot seem to find him. I would suggest maybe you check at the J. Edgar Hoover building. They're on, I think it's Pennsylvania Avenue, like the 900 block, 800, whatever. That's where your people would be, right? Unless this is somebody you contracted out. Somebody at headquarters has the records, but they're offering a substantial reward. So if they're, if by some miracle they arrest, somebody there at headquarters, I'd like my whatever the reward is. Maybe donate that to the Freedom Prepper Coffee Fund. All right, more headlines to move this along. We've got a saner nation. Actually, however many nations there are, like 190. That's how many saner nations there are in the U.S. But Switzerland is one of them, where the people they have a version of direct democracy because it works in a smaller, homogenous civilization. They voted to ban burqas. They had some burqaization coming in, and they decided they did not want to go down the same path that France and England and Germany have gone down. So they wisely banned these religious vestments that can sometimes be associated with terrorism. That's one kind of face covering. Hopefully they will ban another kind of face covering before too long, and ban the people behind it. Although a lot of those usual suspects have a lot of headquarters there in Switzerland because it's so nice, and they want to keep it nice. So at least they're doing the right thing, just like the Devil Mouse, Disney back here in the clown world. If you like Dumbo or Peter Pan or some of these other movies that were made back when Walt and or Roy were still alive and still in charge, say goodbye to them, because every single one of those old, pre overt, propaganda movies is racist. They're all, Dumbo was clearly, I think Dumbo was actually seen. Dumbo might have been the guy working for the FBI to drop off the fake pipe bombs that, by design did not work. Or it could have been Peter Pan. That's Pan. Always suspicious of Peter Pan. But anyway, say goodbye to them. Whatever you like. If they haven't gotten to it yet, they'll get to it because they're banning everybody. And here comes the first of the last two stories. Good news. Here's the guy they wanted to ban ever since he walked into the public square. And they ran him off about 2 years ago. And now he's back, and I'm sure he's going to aggravate more people than ever. And I'm talking about Milo Yiannopoulos, the flamboyant homosexual right winger. You may remember him. He's been quiet for some time for some reason. They He proved that even if you identify that way, if you still say the wrong things, they're going to get rid of you. Well, they got rid of him. Now he's back, and thanks to the hard work and dedication of some good people and the Holy Spirit, Milo is back as an ex-sodomite, and he is now a born-again practicing Christian. So praise God. I'm sure he will continue to be a rebel rouser because that's just in his nature. But sometimes you need that, and it is so much better when it comes along in a chaste, clean package. So congratulations, Milo, and welcome back. They're going to keep attacking you, although they know what they're up against, and it's like Roosh. When Roosh came back as a Christian, they don't like him, of course, but they can't quite. That's a good barometer. They're not quite at the point where they can openly. Well, they do openly attack us, but if you have somebody who is bravely now in the faith, especially because of previous persecution, they're holding back. They won't for long, but congratulations, Milo. And I even heard a rumor. This total rumor that Jordan Peterson might be accepting Jesus Christ before too long. So if that happened, that would be a game changer. We can take back all the people that they've stolen. Wouldn't that be great? And here's the final word of the day. Women in the military, women with weapons. How about a woman who makes her own weapons? I got just a fantastic video that I link up here from Survival Lilly, who is just incredible. She is an army of one. She goes out in the woods, like she frequently does, with a knife and a small saw, and cut down a very small tree and cut it up into sections and started whittling on it. And then you see something taking shape, and then she lashed it together and strung it up and made her own recurve bow out of a tree in the woods, and then made an arrow, and it works, and it's just a great thing. And down below, the very last thing on the script here is the incendiary roast coffee. It's got the flames all over it. I'm not a big flavored coffee guy, although this might work. If you needed a double wake me up, maybe something for the gym, that endothermic energy burning. It even has a fire extinguisher on the picture. Freshly roasted, ready to go. Just like you, I'm sure you're ready to go. Stop the babbling. You got a weekend to get started. So we'll be back. I'm going to try to remember that new format for Monday. And hopefully some different things will happen. The same old stuff. It never gets old. Well, we'll take it as it comes. Have a great weekend, folks, and I'll see you Monday.